Today's video is over percent of number. So by the end of this video, you will understand how to find 10% of something, 50%, 30%. Imagine you're at a store and you're looking for a discount to save money. You've probably seen those signs that says, take 20% off today, take 15% off. So here is, imagine you had an oxygen tank that held 80 pounds of oxygen. What happens if you use 50% of it? That would be 40 pounds. How did I get that from this diagram? If you have only 10% of oxygen left, how many pounds would that be? That would be 8 pounds. So how did I get it from this strip diagram? So this entire bar represents 100%. If we divide this bar into 10 equal sections, so let me get my pen and literally divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal section. That's 100%. What percent will go into each section? So if it's 100% and I'm dividing it into 10 equal sections, what's 100% divided into 10 sections? 10%. That means each bar would be 10%. So let me show you right here. So each bar represents 10%. So now from this, you will be able to answer different questions that are given to you about percent of numbers. So let me put it right here. If this entire bar represents 80 pounds of oxygen, how many pounds of oxygen for every 10%? So I need to take the 80 pounds and divide it into how many sections again? 10 sections. What is 80 pounds divided by 10 sections? Or 10%? 8 pounds. So here is the answer right here. So every 10% represents 8 pounds. So from this, you will be able to answer any question now given to you. So let's answer some questions now. What is 10% of 80 pounds? Let's see, 10% of 80 pounds is 8 pounds. What is 40% of 80 pounds? So 10% is 8 pounds. Another 10% is 8 pounds. Another 10% is 8 pounds. Another 10% 8 pounds. 8, 8, 8, 8. 8 times 4 is 32 pounds. So let's get a little more challenging stuff. So again, same question. Each 10% represents 8 pounds. So this one, oh, here it is. What is 65% of 80 pounds? So first of all, let's do 5%. 5%. So 10% is 8 pounds. If I split this 10% in half, what would half of 8 pounds be? 4 pounds. What is 65% of 80 pounds? So 10% is 80 pounds. 10% is 8 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 pounds. 10, 10, 10, 10. That's 60%. And then 5% would be what? 4 pounds. So what's 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8? Or how many 8s do you see? 6 of them. 8 times 6 is 48 pounds. Plus the 5%, which is 4 pounds, equals 52 pounds. Now let's get a little more harder here. Let me first get my eraser. Erase this. What is 1% of 80 pounds? So let's go back and answer this question. So if each 10% is 8 pounds, what would this 1% be? This itty bitty 1% be? That means I need to go from 10% to 1%, I need to divide it into how many groups? I need to divide it into 10 groups. So what's 8 pounds divided into 10 groups? Can 10 go in 8? No. Annex is 0. How many 10s go in 80? 8 of them. So each 1% is 8/10. So that's 8/10. So if the question was like, what is 3% of 80 pounds? 8/10, 8/10, 8/10 would add up to 2 4/10. So let's practice one more example. So in case you did not understand what I talked about, let's look at this one. You have a class of 30 children. 60% of the children are girls. How many girls are in this class? So this entire bar is 100%. That's the entire class. Everybody. Every single kid. But if I want to figure out what 10% is, I need to divide this bar into 10 groups. So because 100% divided by 10 group equals 10%. Now I have 30 children. I need to put equal number of children in each bar, in each 10% bar. So how many children will go into each 10% bar? Let's count. How many 10% bars are there? 10 of them. 30 children divided by 10 equals 3 children for each 10%. And from there, you can answer any question that you are given. So the question is, 10% equals 3 children. 20%, 10, 10, is 6 children. 30%, 10%, 10%, 10% is 9 children. So if the question was, what is 60%? 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 3 times 6 is 18. So if the question was, 20% are wearing the color red, how many students would it be? 10%, 10%, 3 and 3, 6. Thank you for watching this video.